Hi everyone. So we are here with next session with. Okay, I'll just let Akash introduce about the whole thing. Go ahead, Akash.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Praveen. So, hey everyone. Hope you guys are ready. Like, we have an interesting session lined up for you guys. Today's session will be all about development and masters. So, this is a third developer summit meet we have today, and this is the final and the ending meet we're gonna have. So, hey, I'm Akash. I'm the lead product developer at Bottle. I'm also the development head at IOSD Manipal. So, I'll tell you something about IOSD. IOSD is International Organized Software Developers. We have a bunch of developers spread across India. We have chapters spread across various colleges in India. We collaborate, we work on various projects, we work across projects with government and various organizations. So today we have Mr. Praveen Kumar with us. Praveen has previously worked as a lead consultant in the technology at Virtusa. He's a front-end architect and cloud computing consultant. He has consistently been ranked in the 0.01% of Stack Overflow developers. He's an open source contributor, ReactJS Specialist, Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, and holds a Guinness Record from the Microsoft App Fest. Apart from this, he's an active helper in the developer community, creating educational content to get started in the field of development. We are thrilled to have him here, and hopefully we can learn from your experience, sir. IOSD Manipal is very humble to present Mr. Praveen as a special guest for today. Praveen, to you.
Thank you so much for such a nice introduction. I hope our video and audio is clear. And hey everyone, my name is Praveen. I'm originally from Chennai, India. Currently in Chennai for a medical reason, and I usually be in London, and I work for one of the top US-based investment banking firms as a vice president of engineering, and I'm a full stack JavaScript specialist, specializing on React.js and Node.js, which is one of the most popular tech stacks in the recent times. So that's me. And right. So what is today's topic about? And this is completely new. So are we going to go ahead directly with an ask me anything session, or like what is it, Akash?
So, like, we'll first start with you giving some brief about masters, like how people should plan masters and like development, like how people should enter into development field and how to carry the journey into development. We'll start with that first. Yeah.
Definitely. So if you look at my life, it's like I started with development at an young age of like when I was in sixth standard maybe, and I started with Visual Basic 6 for the start thing, and then later on I understood that Visual Basic 6 doesn't work out on Windows other than Windows, so I switched to something that is non Windows related. So I went to the web version of the same VB script, which is ASP, and then later on I came to know that there is a huge world called open source. And there I started working with LAMP stack, which is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. And from then onwards, till the advent of React.js, I was working with LAMP stack. And during 2015 times, I was working for a week's time at Facebook. And there I came to know that there is something called as JSX. And that is going to be called as React.js in the future time. So before React.js was released to the general public, I started working on it. So that's my quick journey on what all tech stacks that I was working on. So it is primarily LAMP stack and MERN stack. So that's my tech stack. And thinking about what would be the best thing for new developers or people who are just starting with the development side of things, I would say if you are going to get into software development, you have got broadly two categories. One is the web application development, mobile application development, desktop application development, and you have the other things which are data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning. You have 3D, AR, VR stuff. And if you go into the web development, you have got furthermore three categories: front-end development, back-end development, and full stack development. I'm a full stack developer. And I keep saying that I'm a full stack developer. So let me show you how my website looks, and then we'll see what all things are there in a full stack development as well. So without further delay, I'm just sharing my screen. I believe everyone is able to see the screen, right? So can someone say if the audio and video is clear? Is the screen visible, etc.? Seems like okay. So this is my website. It says like I'm a cat lover, I'm a cook, I'm a mentor, etc. And it's a simple website which has got a small introduction about myself and a couple of things. So one thing which I wanted to say is, if you are interactive here, I'm happy to provide you with a lot of goodies like stickers and digital swags worth more than $50, etc. So make sure you are interactive on the chat. All right. So great. So basically, the website has got the very much required details, like what all things that are required, and not over giving details. And this is my old experience. And if you don't have experience, just make sure you create something. Like for any web developer or a developer, I would suggest you have a kind of a website like this, and it contains all the portfolio, the blogs that I have written, the testimonials, what people write to me, and this is the way you can talk to me as well. So one thing which I wanted to tell in quick senses, for the portfolio and blog, it is always better to have something for yourself. Keep publishing it in your social network and other places, so that everyone who are whatever you have done so far, like for example, this is something which I did like 11 years ago, 12 years ago, this is 11 years ago, 10 years ago. Comparing these three things with whatever I have done recently, they look far better, right? So you can clearly see how good you have improved over time. And another thing is blogs. So try to understand, you learn a lot of things in your life. So if you can try to break down things and then explain it to a 5-year-old kid, or maybe your grandma or grandpa who are in a different league of age or something like that, that will show your expertise on it. So that is where these two things, like that is what will show you as a good developer. So, and apart from this, there is nothing much I would like to say about my website, and we can just go ahead and yeah. So that's a quick introduction about myself, what makes me a good developer, or what is the best way or like a best advice for a developer.
That was like, that will definitely help our audience, like, because I also get many doubts from people who see like complex websites, they get intimidated, like we are building like plain HTML websites, and then how do we build that sort of a website? Showing you also build that sort of websites in the earlier days, and now you're building complex websites.
Exactly. It's a 6-month work, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have something to say on masters? Like
masters in the sense, is it the next level
masters of studies? Yeah, like basically in the current scenario, there's a hype for MLA, right? Research and all those things. So people tend to think like if you want to go to masters, you need to be good in research or some sort of that. So for like masters for software developers, like can you tell something on that?
Definitely. So I did my master's in cloud computing from University of Leicester. The fun part is a lot of people do not know that, okay, can people who are in the chat message what would be the prerequisites? Okay, let's say you are not going to do masters, but you want to do masters. What stops you from doing it? I have got a couple of lists which I will tell you, but I want to hear from you all. So would you like to say what stops you from getting into a master's degree? So let's give a small shout out for the chat folks. So hi Sarthak, Sundar Pichai and Gautam. Sundar Pichai used to come to my chat. So if you want to talk about something related to Google, you can say a hi to him. So there is Sundar Pichai on the chat. So fake Sundar Pichai. Okay, so my question is, what are all the couple of things that makes you hesitate to go to masters in something like that? Okay, one good question, one good answer is already got a steady job. Great answer. So why to take a risk and go study when you already have a job? Great one. I had a job for 3 years and then I quit the job to go to masters. I'll tell you why. Applied software engineering. Why don't you send me a quick request on LinkedIn? I would like to give you, since you are the first person to answer something really cool, I'm going to give you a $50 worth something. So message me on LinkedIn. Right. Any others? Anyone? Okay, anyway, Akash, you tell me. You want that $50 thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead. What is stopping you from going to masters? In case if you want to go to masters, you might have some hesitation, right? So what exactly would you feel that, okay, because of this, I don't want to get into masters. Because of this, I don't want to try it out. I have the fear of this or something like that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll say my fear would be like if I'm getting X offers right now because of my development skills, and if I do masters and then I may not get those X offers, I may get Y offers, but I like those X offers are
Y
better
is
than those
always
Y
better
offers.
than X, right?
But it may be a scenario X was better, maybe like that's stopping me.
Agreed. Okay, so that's the same thing which was said by applied software engineering as well. And another thing is, by the way, I mean applied software engineering is the user who posted the chat message. So why is no one messaging it? Like, just put a hi message in the chat for something cool. As simple as that. That is what I would say. Okay, cool. Sir, there are a couple of reasons why I was fearing. Number one, I had the fear of leaving my parents and going to a new location where I had no idea. Second thing is the money. Third thing is the main thing which stopped me from pursuing masters really. It's the entrance examinations. And the fourth thing is what will happen, what will be the prospects after masters when I am doing it in another country. And then if they want me to come back to India, what should we do? What should I do? Or something like that. So as Bert also says, too much effort, getting LORs, hey, seriously, this is the worst reason. But yes, actually, your reason is a sensible reason. Most of the university people, they will not give you the LORs in the correct time and other things. So I completely understand your pace of things, or like whatever your thought is. This is really true. Cost and time. Yes, too much effort, cost and time. Okay, let me come back to everything. First thing which I wanted to clarify is, how many of you think that, okay, GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, these are required for me to go to masters? Is it really required? All these three things are really required to go to masters? Say yes or no.
No, it depends on university.
Depends on university, correct. But in your thought, it would be like, it might be GRE, TOEFL or IELTS, but something, correct?
Yeah.
Or do you have the thought that there are universities which take in students without any entrance examinations? Okay, I could understand the confusion with everyone. So the first thing which I wanted to tell is, I did my master's in cloud computing from University of Leicester, which is a British university. And most of the British universities are extremely lenient to Indian students and students from India. Both are same, by the way. Yeah. So the main thing which I wanted to tell us, most of the British universities that I know of, they are not considering any of these entrance examination, which was a threat for me. So when you ask me to write an entrance examination like GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, or any kind of like these examinations which depend on maths, physics, chemistry, and English, I would definitely fail, because I'm not going to use those things in my future or something like that. English is fine. Even English, we are not native English speakers. That is another real difficulty that people from India are facing. But one thing which I learned is, there are many British universities, they do not consider any of these examinations, but your 12th standard and engineering English marks. Based on that, they not only give you an admission, they also give you scholarships based on it as well. So if you have got English marks worth, let's say 90 plus, I believe a lot of Indians are getting 90 plus. Only me, I got 78 or 75, something like that. But I believe a lot of people who are watching this are getting English marks as like 90s, 80s, something like that. And for me, back in 2013, they gave me like 3.5 lakh scholarship plus an unconditional offer letter. And definitely for you all, they will definitely give like at least 6 to 7 lakh scholarship with an unconditional offer letter. That is my hunch. And that is what happened last week as well, when one of my friends who got into University of Leicester, and there was this University of Sheffield, and they both were saying almost the similar stories to me. So they just got their admissions through their English exams, which was conducted in their 12th, just using their 12th mark sheet. So first thing, that fear is gone. Scholarships, a lot of scholarships are given to Indian students. And there are other people like Bert says that doesn't seem to worth it, as I can learn all of it online. Great thing. To be honest, I did not learn anything technically when I went to the university. But the main thing which I learned is the British culture and the way how people relate to other people and the way of life. Simple. Okay. So nothing related to cloud computing I learned new, which I would have, if I was the professor there, I would have got a decent score. But the thing is, I got a key to join any of the UK based companies here. That is one main crucial thing here. So, a company that is based out of UK, they will prefer a UK student, convert them into a UK full time employee rather than getting someone from India or any other country. And for your record, let's say I am a ReactJS specialist. I am. And if I did not have any experience, but I'm very good with React or something like that, my starting salary in India would be 12 to 15 lakhs versus my starting salary here will be 35 to 40 lakhs. Is now Bert or whoever told that getting LORs is a pain in your back? Do you think it is worth the pain? Viresh also had the same issue, I guess. No return of investment. So I invested 10 lakhs. Now I've got 10 times the thing. So I'm happy. I got the return of investment. If that helps you decide something. So this is, again, what I'm saying is my personal experience. My personal experience, I'm extremely focused, like not extremely unfocused. I'm a lazy person and I've got a huge passion towards coding, like, programming and coding things. So that is the main thing which I look at. So considering those things, this particular field might or might not work out for you, but I love coding to the extent that my friend wanted to do a shopping list for the whole house. We have like 4 people living in the house, let's say. What I did is I created a React.js shopping cart helper. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? We just ticked the boxes and got the shopping list ready. And we went to the nearby grocery store and got it. So I made a React app for it. So to that level, I'm mad of coding. So if that is the case, definitely I can, right now I can say that you are welcome to the UK or even in the US. US, they will like, they will take you like a laddu, something like that. So that is something which I would like to say. So Viresh, I would really like to hear your response for it. And thanks for the message. And by the way, GRE, nope, no GREs, no IELTS. So that's what happened in my life. And that's the same thing with almost all the British universities as well. Is it interesting or something like that? Can we have more likes and can we have more comments, people talking here? Hey Prathamesh, hey Viresh, Shashank, Gautam, Bert. Great. So that is my side of things. Yes, Akash. Sorry, Akash. You have been Go on.
Yeah. Okay. So similar question we have on what you just said. Why did you choose to go to masters in UK and not USA? And where do you think the quality of life is better?
Okay, since I have not been to USA, I cannot comment on that. But based on a certain things, so everyone knows that I'm from Chennai, right? Chennai is in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu has got a lot of Tamil movies. Every single Tamil movie when I watch, the bridegroom, the hero is from America Mapla. Hate the concept, man, seriously. So that is first thing of hatred. Second thing is about the gun culture in US versus crime in the UK. I feel that the crime in the UK is a lot more better in a good state rather than the gun culture in the US. So US has got a lot of opportunities. Silicon Valley is in the US, no doubts about it. But at the same time, it's like something like a share market where you have the ups like hills and downs like troughs or valleys or maybe trenches. Who knows? There could be a Mariana Trench where someone comes, shoots you, and you're dead. That's it. So this happened a lot of times in the US, right? You hear a lot of software engineers getting into troubles like this in the pubs and bars, and then out of no reason, someone comes up, that's it, you're dead. But I haven't heard much in the UK. People say that when I came to the UK, people said that don't talk to these set of people, or there will be a lot of drug dealings might happen. There is a lot of racism. And people who are in the UK, they can kind of like associate with it. I've been here for about 8 years in the UK, and in London for about 3 years. No such things happen. Yes, we do have a lot of crimes happening around the city, but nothing serious, nothing major. And personally, no one has pointed out that, dude, you are an Indian person, dude, you are so dark skinned person. So technically the racism is less in UK compared to racism in India, that too among the families. So when I, after 3 years, I go to a place, like go to my relatives place, and they are, first thing they are noticing is, you're so fat, and you have become so dark, or you have lost your hair. Dude, I came after 3 years. Talk something else. I know that I have become fat. That's totally a different story. Genes, we can't do anything. So comparing to those kind of things, I know they are telling it in a either in a affectionate way or a friendly way or something like that, but that does hurt people sometimes, and that is how we think as well. Like, even I would suggest, I would say that that's the same thought I might have if I was here, and I kind of like even think twice or thrice when I try to talk to other person. What if whatever I say, if I say something, it might hurt them or something like that. I kind of like think and then talk. But yeah, that's one thing, and that is about the racism and culture. So these two things, and obviously when you go to the US, if I go to the US, I could easily get $200,000 per annum, whereas I'm stuck here in, like, let's say $100,000 per annum in the UK, which I feel, which is a better deal comparing, like, if I need to trade between my life versus And one more thing, I have worked with a lot of US based managers, people, clients, etc. I feel that UK people, British people are far polite than US people. Sorry in case if I hurt someone's feelings, but that was my personal experience. I know that a lot of people are good, really good by heart in the US, but people who I met, people who say that I want to go to US, those Indian people as well, they are like kind of like straight to the point, punching on the face. I don't want to say the word rude, but yeah, they are. So that's the reason. Those are a couple of reasons I wanted to, I preferred UK. And there is a connect between UK, the British culture, and India. So for example, in simple terms, in London, we have Madras Street, and in London, we have Broadway. Both the things are there in Chennai as well.
That was quite an interesting answer, I feel. And like all the discussion we have on masters, okay, I personally found it very useful. Like I learned a lot from it. So I hope all the people watching us.
Yes, one thing, check the entrance eligibility and then decide if you don't want to go to masters, because there are loads and loads of universities. There could be, like, let's say, Akash, if you like to eat 100 ice creams in a row, that is something you love to do personally. There could be a test from one of the crazy British universities, or any kind of Australian, let's say, or German. German, it is not possible. You need to know German. So that is the problem with the European universities. They have to, they want the students to have the knowledge of their local language in the Europe. Whereas in Australia, it's not. That's not the case, because it is English. UK is English. Canada is English. Canada, the problem is the weather. I really like a person like Justin Trudeau, because he's one of the best prime ministers or presidents, whatever it is, best ruler of the country. But yeah, again, we had Trump card in US. That's one of the main reason I did not want to go there. And so I was saying something, but I forgot. I kind of like slipped my mind. Go ahead. You were about to say something, Akash.
Yeah, I was just saying it was quite an insightful answer. Like I hope all the people watching us found it useful. And if you have any follow-up question on that, you can like just hit us in the chat. Like just
there are like so many questions which are away from this topic. Maybe I can just quickly give an answer for it. So SS says that you have been mentoring students to participate into hackathons. Tips to win hackathons. Did I win any hackathon? Sorry, bro. Try to do the best. I mean, try to give your best. The tips which I would say is try to complete a MVP and submit it. even if it is not completely complete, it's fine to have something that is very simple to give a demonstration of your idea matters a lot. So get the right team. That is the main thing about winning hackathons. It's not about whether you know to code or not. Get the right team, get the right presentation done. So that is something which makes you win. So Maya Singh says, is it comparatively difficult to get into master's program if you do not have a research background or only software development experience for 1 or 2 years? I had just 3 years of experience, and my marks were consistently poor in my undergraduate. Yet they just gave me a job. They give me an opportunity to pursue my masters, and I came out with distinction. That is the fun part. I had got 3 backlogs or arrears, as we say in Tamil Nadu. After they considered everything, they looked at everything, and they said, like, okay, why don't you come and pursue your higher studies here? And then I came out very well. So I'm pretty sure, Maya, you are 100% better and fabulous than me. So you should be able to do it. It depends on the university as well. My university helped me in every single aspect. I didn't have my parents nearby, right? So when we, like, how would you say, cross the oceans and come to another continent, definitely they are miles away, like 1,000 miles away from my place, 1,000 or 3,000 miles away from my place. And the professors who are from basically German professors, he was my personal tutor, pre-tutor. Those people, they were like taking care of me like mothers and fathers. So like, just like parents. That was my experience in University of Leicester. So that was that thing. Akshat has got this question. How does one, oh, okay, sorry, Maya, is there any question? Was it helpful? Maya Singh. Okay. Akshat Gupta, how does one get started with open source? First thing is find your, one of the interesting things. Yeah. Find your, powerful, like, confident area of expertise. So the first thing I would say is, like, if you ask me, I like JavaScript, I love JavaScript, I breathe JavaScript, something like that. So any kind of JavaScript projects that are small, I'll start with the good first issue and then understand their code, see where I can give them, like, there could be a bridge to, like, there could be an open bridge where I can go and fix something. So try to find out those gaps that you can solve. You become the solution for them. Like, for example, I have got this particular website. You try to find out, don't try to do this. Maybe you found a small bug, or there is a bug that people want some help from you. Try to go ahead, fix it, give your stuff, give your best, and then they will definitely accept it. That's the first start. Start with smaller projects, then you will understand the course, and then go ahead to bigger projects like, Facebook's React, VS Code, etc. So that would be the best answer I would give. So Akshat, is this answer okay for you? Thanks, Maya. Yeah. So that was for Akshat. And thank you, Shishank. So Veeresh says, anybody want to do research or masters in Web3 and blockchain? What is your suggestion? Blockchain is awesome. Web3 is extremely awesome. And I would suggest to take it up. I guess data science or something like that might help you. I don't see a course or degree in Web3 or blockchain at this point, but there is masters in data science when there was nothing other than masters in computer science. So when data science was a new concept and cloud computing is a new concept, definitely distributed systems might come as a degree as well. So under distributed systems, I could see blockchain coming in, and Web3, again, maybe pretty much the same concept, distributed systems. So just wait for some more days. I know it's going to be you have a point of time where you need to go for masters, which is appreciable. But at the same time, if you go ahead and start working locally or something like that for a couple of months until those kind of specialized courses come up, you won't definitely regret. So for me, there was a bit of a regret, but not a complete regret, because I really wanted to do cloud computing. I did cloud computing, and then I'm into web development. So web development was my main aim, but cloud computing gave me some kind of a complementary help or like push towards being a full stack developer. I would say just 5% of the university degree actually helped me out. Can we have 30 likes for this stream, please? Okay, I'll give you something like a really cool answer. Like, thanks for asking such nice questions. Definitely connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll get you something really cool. Okay, so there is this question. Since you are the admin of GSSOC, do you have any advice on how one's can get into it? Any tips of cracking GSOC this year? So GSSOC is not GSOC. GSSOC is Girl Script Summer of Code, and GSOC is Google Summer of Code. It's just the mini version of Google Summer of Code, Girl Script Summer of Code. Since I was not able to get into Google Summer of Code, I went into Google Girl Script Summer of Code. Pretty much the same experience between those two things. The only difference is you get to work with big companies like Red Hat, Ubuntu, Canonical, Automatic, etc. Other than that, in case of GSSOC, there will be smaller companies you would be getting to work with. That is what I would say.
On any tip also on cracking GSOC, like how does a person prepare?
I haven't done
GSOC?
It. So one thing which I would say is there are loads and loads of YouTube videos and channels available for specifically for cracking GSOC, Google Summer of Code. I have never cracked it in my life. So I guess I won't be the right person to answer about it, but definitely check out all those things. It's just a Google search away. Again, Google Summer of Code, you have to Google for it. As simple as that. Can you please give me a roadmap for web development? Sure thing. So I would always suggest go to this particular website. This is my website, not this one. This is also a good website, but for roadmaps, it's roadmap.sh. And here you can find a lot of developer roadmaps. You can see a roadmap for front-end development, back-end development. If you try to master these two things, you will become a full stack developer. And this is how the front-end development roadmap looks like. You start with the basics of internet, how these things work, what is DNS, what is domain name. I usually say a story for learning all these things or in an easy way. So go check out my other YouTube live streams for that story. Again, there is a story for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then there is another third story for open source and version control systems. For version control systems, there's a fourth story. And you have got other things as well. Storytelling and getting to know things through stories is really helpful. The same way is with the games as well. So if you want to learn something like, let's say, CSS grid box or CSS grid systems or Flexbox, you have something called as Flexbox Froggy. How many of you want to learn things by using games? Just type in game in the chat. So if you see this, these are the two games that I was talking about. This is CSS Grid Garden and this one is Flexbox Froggy. And these two games will help you in learning how Flexbox works. And at the end of this 24 levels, you will be almost master of Flexbox. The same way at the end of this 28 levels, you will be master of CSS Grid Garden. So this is something which I wanted to say. And roadmap.sh is one of the best websites for learning what is the whole thing about, what is the whole scenario of web development, what all things that you can do with web development, etc. So don't miss these things. So only Shubham Rane says game. So Shubham, take the $50 gift as well. You too. Cool. So that's about the roadmap for web development. Anybody want to do research? Veeresh, I answered that question. Bert Macklin, how easy was it to get a job after the masters? The college there doesn't have a placement department. Yes, none of the colleges in the Western countries will have a placement department. But even before I was completing the college, my dissertation time, I was putting all those things in my LinkedIn and Twitter, in all these social networks. And literally you have to see my LinkedIn inbox. People were like rushing out to give me jobs. Even now, whichever job I am currently in, or the previous Virtusa job, or the previous game analytics job, or the previous head forwards, every single job was not applied by me. It was the The company applied to me, and I said yes for that. So I had this, what do you call this, Dharma Sangatamana Nalamai. Give me a moment. I need to think what is it in English. You have this embarrassing situation where you have to select three jobs out of, you have to select one job out of three jobs. They are willing to sponsor you a visa, and then you have to reject two jobs. That was the case with every single opportunity I went in, and that's how you have to sharpen your profile. So these are a couple of tips which I told you today, like create your own portfolio. How many of you want to have your own portfolio and you do not have a domain name for it? Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to provide you with a free domain name, a free idea about portfolio and everything. So yeah, go ahead with that. So that is something which I would like to say about the roadmap of web development and how easy was it to get a job after masters. So literally what happens for me is, Bert, whenever I am currently working in this company, I get at least 5 to 6 different offers, kind of like trying to brainwash me to come out of the company and join their company. That is what happens every single day. Every single day. If you don't believe, I can even share my screen and show you my LinkedIn thing, but obviously there is some, my privacy is there, right? Okay. So Sushant Suman says, is research useful if one wants to get into software development field? I would say yes, definitely. There are like loads and loads of companies or research degrees that are mainly for like getting into the software development field. There is a huge plethora of courses that are available that are purely research based, and once you complete that, you get amazing offers from software development field, and you will be still on research in the new company as well. So definitely yes is the answer, but at the same time you have to be very sure about which area of research that you are going to take up, and you should also know who will be the audience companies. For example, if I do React.js, I'm pretty sure that there are like hundreds of different companies who I can approach for me being a front-end developer or a React.js developer. But if you're taking a research field, there are very little number of companies, so you have to be very sure about which company you're going to pitch in your research for. So that is something which you need to be making some work on it. I hope, Sushant, that was clear, right? And Bert, what do you think? Yeah, okay. Yes, Bert has given me a reply. So it was because of your LinkedIn profile and the fact that you are studying in the UK. Remove the fact of studying in the UK. Yes, I am residing in the UK and my LinkedIn profile, and I have been doing a lot of things. Yes, they are the ones. At least that is what I would devote most of the credits to when I am in the Western countries. Sure. Thank you, Sushant. Bye says, I already know React. Which one I should learn next? Node.js or Spring Boot as job perspective? Hey, first thing which I want to tell us, don't go with the number of jobs that are in front of you. Go with what you love, what you are passionate about. First thing. Second thing is, if you like JavaScript like me, go to Node.js. If you hate Java like me, go to Node.js. If you love Java or if you have a concern over Java more than JavaScript, go with Spring Boot. Lot of companies which are financial fintech companies, even I am in a bank. So all these fintech companies, they are mainly using Spring Boot or Python. Not many are using Node.js, but people like me, we are there. We are convincing and converting all those Java code and Python code into JavaScript. Not Python code though, but Java and .NET are getting converted into JavaScript, but still a lot of Java and Java Spring Boot and JavaScript, Python people are required. There is not much opportunities for PHP developers as much as JavaScript or Java or Python or .NET. But yeah, PHP is also alive, by the way. I could see a couple of people leaving just because I said PHP. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt them. Okay. Welcome through Puri. Shubham Rane says, as we see so much automation happening in the development, we directly can find code snippets, and it has become so easy to make website and assign website, drag and drop Will automation affect software development? It already affected the testers, but no, I would say no. And comparatively, at the moment, if you see the amount of artificial intelligence or whatever that thing is happening, I would say it is not up to the mark. So when you want to identify a dog, it identifies it as cheese. So that is the current level of what it is. Yeah, sorry, Akash, did you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so like those are few questions we had in chat. We also have collected few questions for you. Like we had a lot of questions, so we'll ask the most frequently asked ones.
Go for it.
So there's one interesting question. A person says, I love coding, but I'm not sure if I would want to do it after a few years. What are the roles I could explore at that point? Will I need an MBA degree if I want to transition to management role? Few years working as a software developer.
An MBA role definitely helps. You can become a business analyst or a technical analyst where you won't be coding. You would be a scrum master or a product owner. Product owner, it would be on the design side, UX and UI side of things. So what you can transform into will be a product owner or a scrum master or a business analyst where you would be, or technical analyst. This will not involve like your coding in technical analyst will become like 5%, business analyst and scrum master and product owner will be 0%. So that would be a viable option I could think of. And MBA degree definitely will help you, but I have like literally no clue. I'm a hater of MBA because MBA, you want to learn MBA, go talk to your mom who bargains in the roadside hawkers by reducing 10 rupees carrots to 5 rupees carrots. That's the bargain, I would say. So someone, I feel that is MBA, but I'm not sure. I might be wrong. So ask an MBA person or MBA person who has a degree on engineering, computer science engineering specifically.
You mentioned Agile methodology, right? And you must have also worked with Agile, Scrum.
I'm always working with Agile and Scrum. Yep. So I'm always working on Agile and Scrum. The good part of Agile Scrum methodology is that you have a lot of to-do list items, and a sprint is like 2 weeks or 1 week sprints. And in that 1 week sprint, you have like 1 week or 2 week sprints. In that sprint, you would be having like 4 front-end developers, 4 back-end developers, 2 testers, something like that. So what you have the process is you create the back-end, you do the testing, you merge it. You do the front end, you do the testing, you merge it, something like this. So what happens here is you would be able to kind of like delegate, like you have the list of tasks. Out of that, you take a sub list where how many people are there. Based on that, you take 10 tasks, and then those 10 tasks will be given to these 10 people by the Scrum Master. And consulting with the product owner says that the person wants a couple of tasks to be done. And then going forward, this whole list of tasks needs to be completed. Like this sub list of tasks need to be completed in 1 week's time. At the end of the week, we will be having a sprint retrospective. And then the next week, we will be having a sprint planning session as well. So this is how typically it happens. And every single day you have another ceremony called as daily stand-ups, where you will not spend more than 15 minutes. And then you will say, hey, I worked on this particular task and I was able to do this. I did not have any blockers. That's it. Something like that. 3 lines, 4 lines of talk. And within 5 minutes, all those 10 people will be able to complete the stand-up call, and that will actually give you a sense of like, you know, a conformity, like, okay, these people are working on this and there is a progress happening, we are going in the right path, something like that. So that is about the Scrum and Kanban and other things.
Okay, so like coming to Agile and all, so Agile has been practiced in startups also right now. Okay.
Yes.
So many people are very desperate to get internships and all those stuff. So some are like, there are free internships, people get into that. Those are still helpful. People learn from those. But there are many companies offering internships where they claim you pay some amount, they'll train you and they'll provide you internships. So what do you take on that? Like, should people, yeah.
I know a company that starts with I know a company that starts with V and ends with O. I don't want to say the name, which has a Z. Okay, so I would say avoid those companies. I would say typically they are scam. And when you are putting some effort, even today, even a couple of days ago, when I was getting interviewed by someone, they were saying like, okay, we will be giving you a test for the interview and try to complete it within 1 day. If it goes more than 1 day, we will pay you for your time. That's how should the company should be. I was like, yeah, I'm not greedy enough, but at the same time, I respect their decision. Just because of that, I completed it in a day. And even if I had completed like in 2 or 3 days, I would have said I completed it in a day, and I wouldn't ask for money for it. But because they are doing that, I mean, they are so sincere about the candidate's perspective. If you are doing some work, you have to get paid. If you are trying to get a work, maybe one or 2 days of your work for assessing you for by the company, that is completely fine. Not more than that. That's what I learned. One of the British banks, they were extremely awesome, and I believe many of us have heard of that bank as well. But yeah, so if every company is like that, it would be nice. And coming to the free internships, that's fine as long as you learn something. You can always say bye bye and get lost. So it could be a loss to the company or it could be a loss to you. But at the same time, at the end, everyone learns a lesson. So you would be getting some experience from the internship. At least some kind of like a proof that you are working there. You can tell that to your college or employer, future employer, or something like that. You gain an experience that is most valuable than whether it is money or anything. So that is my take on that. But definitely, if the company is asking for money for providing you an internship, ask them to. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. So also like following up on this, like how would you like recommend a person to like get an internship in a startup, maybe a developer role? How should a person approach a startup, or like is cold emailing
Okay,
useful? Or like,
I'm gonna ask you as well as other people. Let us have a conversation. For others who are able to chat, please tell me who are the people you can approach in a company where you can get a job. Okay, list it down. Come on, Akash, you tell me. So if you see this, there is this company. You could see a lot of people are going there, and you want to join in their company because on the LinkedIn and Facebook you are looking at, okay, this is what we had. We had such a huge Holi festival, Diwali festival, some kind of festival that went really awesome. People are so enjoying the presence in the company, etc. You want to join this company. Just let's call it Microsoft, Google, any of these FANG companies or something like that. But FANG companies are like, it's somewhere sky, galaxies ahead. But coming to your local company, the company is just right there. Who would you approach? That is the question for every others as well. So who would you approach? And
so, I would approach my alumni first, like who have seen my work, maybe. Then the super alumni who have not seen my work, but from my same college, so they get to know who I am and all those things. Then
actually,
maybe
thank you. This is the first time I'm hearing these two names. I'm gonna take it to my record. Okay, so I have got now 6 different people to approach. Okay, next.
The team leader in whichever team I am interested to work, like maybe a feature X, I want to work in that. Maybe that team leader or someone I know from that company, I can approach them.
Okay.
And
anyone else? So, just expand your selection. Like anyone else.
Any talent recruiter at that company. Any sort.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There are 2 more people which I'm waiting to hear from you. Anyone else? Anyone else telling me this? Okay. Last one. Who's the other person?
HR.
Yeah. So, okay, then there is one more person, last person to ask for. Yeah, I guess you have said almost everything. There is one last person who can give you a job. Come on, man. This is very easy. If that person thinks you can get a job. That's the clue. Anyone? Oh, yeah, Akash. Not you, Akash.
You're talking about the co-founders.
Founders and co-founders. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
CEOs, co-founders, CXOs, all
Yeah.
these chief executives. So any of these people, if you know them personally or if you try to get acquainted with them, you can get a job. First thing. Second thing, how do you get acquainted with them? Get a nice, awesome LinkedIn profile. Start talking with them if they are out of reach for you. Third thing, if they are inside the reach, for example, that person, the CEO person comes to have coffee in the next cafe shop where you also go and chill out, try to strike a conversation. I know it would be very, very awkward in starting it because that guy is like a multimillionaire and we are like, even for, we don't even know the meaning of multimillion things, right? So it might be awkward at first to start a conversation, but somehow start a conversation, befriend them. And then it's not something like cheating or anything, but you kind of like introduce them in a kind of programmatical way. It should happen naturally, but what if you're making it happen simple and then try to explain about you? If the owner knows that, okay, you would be a right person for this team, boom, there is no other, even the HR cannot say anything, right? So that is something like that. Hey, Krish Gupta, stalk them. Nice advices. So yeah, so these are a couple of tips to get into a startup that you like. In case if the startup is a startup, just 5 people or 10 people, then it works. If it's bigger, then it doesn't. So telling that, I just wanted to tell a small story about how I got my internship in the UK. I was the only person who holds the record, the only immigrant or the only person in the entire history of any British universities to get a internship without a CV. A CV or a resume is very important in the UK, and I did not know what it is before. I just befriended this guy. I just happened to know that he owns a company, a software company, and again things were like serendipity. He owns a software company. He is my friend. He wants a person who is good with technology stuff, and I wanted a job like an internship, or else I'll be kicked out of the country. I told about that to him. He said he will give me a job. Simple. So it just happened. Don't try this at home. Have a CV with you. So that is something.
Yeah,
So that's a practical experience which I had. So I just said, yes, this can work.
Okay, so basically, like right now there are a lot of startups, right? A lot, and people do get internship in startup X and something, and they know there is not that much growth in that startup. So a person should like work on the skills, wait for maybe a month or two, and then join a better startup, or like should join the startup, intern for there over a month or maybe.
So it's almost similar. Like your question is almost similar. Like, should I get a lover or directly blindly get a wife for my marriage? I mean, it's a luck factor there. So you might get into the right company at the first attempt, or you might need to keep on switching until you get the right company and stay for some good time before you move on to the next. It's a bargain, or it's a gamble.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Okay,
no one knows it.
It's a luck factor also, like maybe that company work or not. Yeah,
I guess luck factor is the only factor in this.
Yeah, since you did your undergrad in electrical, okay, and you shifted your career from a non-CS background to a CS background, does branch matter? Like if you want to study abroad, or like skills matter the most?
Skills matter. I have got a lot of friends who did their undergraduate in electrical and electronics, and they are better cloud engineers than me, who just did masters in cloud computing, and I did my BE computer science. They are better than me. They came from electrical background. And Sundar Pichai, he's there in the chat as well, right? The real Sundar Pichai did his electrical only, and Wharton School of Business. He did MBA, and he got into Google step by step. Now he's the head of Google. So yeah. So it doesn't matter which stream you did. It all matters if you have the right skills or not. So if you have the right skills, You are there. And this is very common with all the Western countries. I guess India is also picking up. Nowadays, most of the companies are like scrapping the degree qualification part. So your question will be answered no. They don't matter.
Interest matters, right? Like whichever field.
Exactly. Interest and passion matters. I just wanted to answer this question by Viresh. How to remember all the web development concepts for interviews. If you're just like me, just keep using everything in your daily life, and then you will automatically not forget. Do you forget how to breathe? Do you forget how to drive? Same thing. Do you forget how to code? I don't think so. So no for me. So there is another question from. There's a question from another Akash. Can you give guidance to make a good LinkedIn profile for college students? Actually, this is a nice ask, and I guess it's a good idea as well. So if we are collaborating again, would you like to consider me for shaping up LinkedIn profiles? What do you say, Akash?
Yeah, definitely. We can like. This question actually is like the most favorite question among the first, second years. Okay, because that time they have that craziness too. So definitely we can have one session on this also, like a individual session on like making a good LinkedIn profile, a CV. Yeah, definitely.
Got it. There's one crazy question. Bye says that how to manage 3-month notice period because of 3 months notice period, not getting call from recruiters. This is very tricky, and it is a very mostly asked question. Whenever there is a 3-month notice period clause, I say bye for the company. No, I won't accept any companies that will give me a 3-month notice. And if there is a 3-month notice period, I know it is not lawful to work on the second company when you're working on the first, but at the same time you can try working with them in other ways, like collaborating with them in other ways, so that they won't lose you. So that is something which I would do in case if I have got a 3-month notice period and there are people who do not want to wait for me. So that is my advice. And do online course certifications like Coursera hold any value and recruiter screen application? I am also recruiting people. Yeah, recruitment alert. Send me your CVs for CV at praveen.science. But anyway, so coming to the value of course certification, there are certifications versus certificates. We had a huge discussion on it. So any certification that you do on the area of your expertise, for example, let's say I'm looking for an SQL developer and you have got a IBM DB2 certificate, and that is the SQL thing which we use. Or maybe the most common certifications are Microsoft Azure certifications. They are about cloud certifications. If I'm looking for a cloud computing consultant and you do have some cloud computing skills like Tarmar skills with the cloud computing certification like Azure certification, definitely you are staying ahead. But if you are getting certificates like, yes, I attended this useless guy called Praveen who came and talked something about masters and this is my certificate, I would outright reject you. No offense, but at the same time, this actually helps you in other ways. Like, for example, I could see that, okay, you have got like 100 different useless certificates, but 100 different useless certificates has got this pattern. This guy is always going, or this girl is always going into this ReactJS related things, and she or he has got a lot of ReactJS related certificates. Okay, why don't I try talking to him or her and see if you are the right person for the post I'm looking for. So that works out in a different way, but directly this will not help you, at least in the recruitment stages. So let's say, okay, so Akash, I'm giving you a job, and send in me your documents or something like that. And if you place the certificate there, that would be a negative impact, but before that it will be a positive impact. I hope that was clear, Nathan. I hate Agile and Scrum. Sprint sucks. Why, Rahul? That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. For me, I love it because I can make sure I can plan everything. So that is something. Sushant says, since you did your undergrad in electrical, okay, that's what we spoke about.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Since you did, but I did not do my undergrad in electrical, man. Maybe you're asking about a generic question, then okay. So I did my undergraduate in computer science. I did my postgraduate in cloud computing. So that's me. It's always a gamble. You don't know if the company will meet your expectations or your goal matches or not. Yeah, great. Can you give guidance to make a good LinkedIn profile and a CV for an undergrad? Akash is being Akash. Akash is the same Akash. Are you the same Akash?
No, not me.
That Akash is better, man, in asking great questions. So, Akash, just connect with me. I want to give you something cool. But yes, let's do a session that is specifically for LinkedIn and CV, right?
Definitely. So okay. Like we'll be wrapping up soon. Like, so if you guys have any more questions, like just like bring us like.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. And Akash, do you have any questions?
The question I would like to ask you is like, nowadays, like in the online mode, fine, in the Corona environment, we have hackathon shifted to online mode, right? So people who were like participating in
it is very bad because we couldn't get the pizzas we deserve, man.
No, that's the definitely like that's the fun part of an hackathon, like pizza, coffee, and things like that. Yeah, but now people can actually like participate in hackathons sitting in their state and participate in states like which are much far away, right? So what advice do you give to people who are like planning to participate in hackathons and how to win hackathons, things like that?
Yeah, as I said, you make sure your team is diverse. So you have, since you are doing everything virtually, you have the freedom to choose someone from US, someone from UK, someone from Australia to be your teammates. And you can choose anyone literally. So make sure you have a complete team, not someone from your own set. Not exactly someone from your own set. If you are comfortable with them or like you want them to be with you, that is a different story. What I'm trying to say is make sure your team is a complete team who is going to be good at documentation, good at presentation, good at coding, good at ideas. Ideas are the main thing. Ideas and presentation. You can be shit at coding, but you might win because your idea and presentation are great. That is how a lot of hackathons have been won these days. So make sure your ideas and presentation stands out. So that is something which I would say an advice. First thing.
Yeah.
Second thing, personal advice: take rest. Don't be like me. So I also work with one.
Yeah, adding to that, like people are focused on like winning hackathons, but like I feel in hackathons you learn a lot, right? You meet new people, you work.
Focus on learning, not focus on winning. So winning will come later. Yeah. Success will come later. Don't go behind it.
Any final advice you'd like to give to all the folks who are like?
Let me pick up these two last questions from Rahul and Viresh. So Rahul says that if I work with Agile and Scrum, but it is pressurizing if we end up with backlogs, then change the company, man. The company should understand that everything cannot be finished in that sprint. So that's the reason we have the backlog reviews and we have the overdue, like velocity, etc. So either the manager doesn't understand your speed or maybe you are overestimating or underestimating things. So just make sure those things are worked upon. And it should not be pressuring. Yes, I do understand that there will be kind of like a bad vibe when you stop, like when you end the sprint with more backlogs that are not completed. But just think about the manager's perspective as well. The manager will be like pretty much pissed off. Viresh asks how to remember all things for interview. Keep on practicing. Practice makes everyone perfect. That is what I would like to say. And ending the session by saying like make sure everyone stays home and follow the local COVID protocols and guidance and stay home, stay safe, make sure you're healthy. That health comes first. And I don't know when I'm going to follow that, but let's see. I soon follow it. And then, so that is something which I would like to say before I leave. Any last words?
Yeah, definitely. Akash? So IOSD Manipal would like to thank you for like joining us in this like interactive session. I hope like people learned a lot because I frankly learned a lot from this session. Like me personally working in agile methodology and like knowing the insights also, retros and how you experience agile helped me also. Like I could also visualize like how I work with agile and how you work, right? So things like that, providing roadmaps to people. I hope people were benefited from this talk, and if in future we'll definitely have more talk, and that LinkedIn will definitely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. And stay home, stay safe. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys.